no, you can't always play for the 100% play because that doesn't exist. You're just going to play the game too slowly. Go for these higher risk, higher reward plays. Have confidence in your ability to outplay your opponents. Caps, I think, really does, kind of represent that so well. He is the kind of player that when he's strong, he's willing to look for these 1v3 plays, these 1v2 plays where he says, I can actually find the angle here. I can find the outplay. And sometimes it's not going to work out, but most of the time, because of how damn good this guy is, he can pull it off. And it really is incredible to watch.
Yeah, this type of League of Legends just makes for so much more exciting gameplay. I remember back in the days of lane swaps, the dark times of League of Legends, I would just designate the first 7 minutes of every game as popcorn time. Take a break, go get some food, nothing's going to happen anyway. I'm so glad we got rid of that. And now we get to have some action-packed early games. We get to see big outplay potential. We get to see a lot of skirmishes. And with these two squads, I'm hoping for it to just be in your face from start to finish. Caitlyn, Nidalee, Lilia, Ornn, Lucian, and Shen all banned away. Suning looking at that top side with the Ornn and Shen bans. Jungle also being focused here by G2, removing the Nidalee and the Lilia together. First pick of the entire draft will be the Twisted Fate for Caps. And this is going to allow him to move around the map and really heavily affect those other lanes, which is something he has done to great success.
Yep, Bin getting his Renekton, his most played by far. This guy has been a monster on the pick in the LPL. That is why they are focusing the Shen, the Ornn. They're trying to target some of these picks that Wunder could perhaps, withstand the onslaught, because Bin and SOFM pair up so incredibly well. Even on these picks that people don't traditionally think of as early game junglers, things like the Trundle, SOFM can make ganks happen constantly up in that top lane. So I'm going to be interested to see what G2's response is up there. I think Wunder, if he wants to go another tank option, I think Malphite can be really, really strong. I don't expect SOFM to go towards the AP junglers. He didn't really play any of them in the LPL. And Malphite versus, Renekton Graves or Renekton Lee Sin or any of that kind of thing can withstand very, very well. And then they can wait for Caps, to be able to make plays elsewhere on the map. It looks like it will be Volibear top, which I do think can kind of fit into a little bit more of a scrappy bucket than obviously the Malphite and whatnot, but you can still build defensively and try to itemize somewhat to survive. You can also look for those 2v2s if you are feeling like you are going to be able to pull that off, but they've got to show respect over to Renekton and Lee Sin, because that is where Suning has shown they want to go constantly. And if G2 can withstand that and get out on the map here with Caps' TF, I think they're going to be sitting pretty.
Lee Sin locked in for SOFM. We talked in game one about how the Lee Sin's kind of not one of the most popular junglers right now, not exactly in a spot in the meta where it's a Lee Sin meta. So SOFM still with enough confidence in the pick to take that one into the graves here in this second game of the day. Syndra and Renekton solo lanes, there is a lot of kill pressure with those two champions, Mr. Isaac. We'll see how well they're able to make this game a nice and bloody one, but you were talking about scrappiness. Hey man, Graves and Volibear, two champions that are perfectly fine getting into a 2v2, brawling around the top side of the map. And with Wunder and Bin going head to head, two of the best top laners there are in the League of Legends game right now, that should be a lot of fun to see.
It really is going to be very, very exciting, and also seeing how well Jankos can actually track SOFM. Even if you don't want to go up there and fight, if you can help to ward out and find the Lee Sin, let Wunder know when Lee Sin is in his side of the map, when he has to play defensive, when he can actually go for trades and scrap it out. Because even if you can just do that as the Graves and farm and get stronger, you're going to be feeling really good in your position about that 1v1, and just in relation to the scaling that you have compared to that Lee Sin, you will be looking good. But a couple of bans going down towards perks.
Yep.
The Twitch has been getting taken away quite a lot, it feels like, in Worlds after its priority in play-in. You can see the support targeting here from G2. Banning away Thresh and Tahm Kench feels like they may want to go for a bit of an aggressive and engaged style support here, try to really go at their opponents. Generally for Suning, because they have such a focus on top and mid lane, on playing around that quadrant, their bot lane tries to sit back, tries to play a little bit more defensively, and that is something that some teams in the LPL have looked to attack, try to take the fight to Sorta and Huangfeng and see if you can make them pay.
Okay, we got the Ezreal and we got the Bard.
Like
so
this.
Plenty of powerful range there. We know the Bard can slap people around in the lane if they go for a melee style support. Of course, we still do get to see Sword Art get that last pick of the draft, but let's see how it shapes out for him.
And I think this is kind of the opposite of attacking that bot lane. Yes, you can still set up and look to do that. But generally speaking, I think if you go Bard Ezreal, you are looking to just get through that laning phase, and you're looking to roam, right? You can leave Ezreal in the 1v2 very comfortably. Yes, you have to respect the engage, especially post 6 of Nautilus and Ashe. That can be dangerous. But if Perkz can be chilling in the 1v2, farming it up against Ashe, Bard can be out on the map looking to back up his top laner if he's getting attacked, looking to back up his jungler if they're getting attacked, and even roam somewhere and have Caps ult in, and all of a sudden there's this extra member showing up here for G2 looking to turn the tides of that fight.
And you know what? I like this. I like the fact that they're playing with a safe bottom side for G2 because we've sung the praises of Caps and what an incredible talent he's been on not just G2, but also on Fnatic and just in general in League of Legends for the past couple of years. Looking at how strong of a laner Wonder is, how effective Jankos can be in the jungle. But if you're looking for anybody that could be labeled as a weak link on G2, you look at the bottom lane and you see some of the highest death numbers in the LEC on these guys. They can definitely find themselves in hot water. And if you're looking to play around these solo lanes and play around this top half of the map, knowing that you're up against a team like Suning who wants to invest in their top laner, I love the idea of not having some super volatile bot lane that's like, well, we tried to fight at level 2 and we died. Guess the game's over. I really like the fact that they're going for this on the side of G2. The Bard pickup here allows all that roaming you were talking about, but the thing is, let's look over across the table right now because on Suning, Sword Art is playing the Nautilus, which he has the most plays of any support champion throughout the summer split, 14 Nautilus games. The man knows his way around an anchor.
Definitely true. I mean, it's Mickey's most played as well, so he should be very comfortable, looking into this. He only has the one Bard game himself throughout the year, rather this split on Mickey. Sword Art was one of his most played, so both these guys are going to be extremely familiar, not only with their champs, but with their opponents' champs and how to kind of answer that. And, to your point about G2's bottom lane, you always got to remember that they actually, lane swap Perkz back to mid lane in spring, and then they're back down to that bot lane in summer, so there is going to be some adjustment period there. And I also just think that his comfort zone, he was so dominant on kind of the crit marksman, and those have moved a little bit out of fashion. Things like the Senna coming really in big and the Ezreal, so we'll see if he can kind of find that same success that he's had internationally in the past on some of those other picks here on the Ezreal. Definitely think he can do it. He's a ridiculously talented player here, one of the best Western players of all time for sure. But Suning definitely setting up here for SOFM. I mean, one thing you'll notice is a trend across all three lanes. There's incredible gank setup. You have Renekton point and click stun. You've got Scatter of the Weak in the mid lane with that Syndra. You have the Nautilus hook plus post 6. You have the Nautilus point and click ultimate. You have the Ashe arrow. There's so many ways to set up for that Lee Sin flying in, and this is going to be really, really interesting because it makes it much harder for G2 to predict, where exactly SOFM will show up. Yes, he has the inclination to go towards top lane. That is where he likes to play most with Bin, but he could go anywhere this game, and that is always going to make it so much trickier to really track his movements and to expect him at the right times.
All right, we're on the Rift, 30 seconds into the game. Doesn't look like we're getting anything cheeky here at the level 1 from either squad. Keystones popping up on your screen right about now. Everything's par for the course, man. You got Phase Rush on both Graves and the Syndra. We know that both of those champions can go for runes that apply more damage if they want, but we already talked about how Phase Rush is busted. So many champions want to take it just because haha can't be slowed. Very, very powerful thing to have in your arsenal to escape some ganks as well as facilitate yourself landing more damage through your own plays. One Summoner Spellbook in the game is on Caps, so we'll have to see what sort of use he's able to find with that as we move forward. Teleports, once again, we have an Ezreal with teleport versus a different AD carry with a combat Summoner spell on the other side, so there will be a teleport advantage for G2 as we move into the later stages of the game.
Yep, and something you have to remember, kind of similar to how we saw that Caitlyn Lux lane, you don't have to match the teleport of the Ezreal if you think that you have the push, right? Because if you can actually reset with the wave at their tower, it doesn't really matter if you don't have TP, you don't lose that much. But if you're going to be on the back foot, then you may need to take that teleport to actually try to match so you don't give up too many minions while that is happening.
So on our screen right now, we were looking at the top laners, and I want to just give a quick fun fact about Bin because we talk about how successful he is and how the team likes to play around him. This guy, and I already mentioned how bloody of a region the LPL is and how this region is just known for how aggressively they play League of Legends. Exhaust used at level 1 down here in the bottom lane by G2. But Bin has the most solo kills of any LPL player. That is not any LPL top laner. That is not
And there's 17
restricted
teams.
at all. Yeah, there's 17 teams with 5 people on each team. Quick maths, 85, not counting subs. This dude's number 1 for solo kills. If you find yourself in an isolated situation, 1v1 against Bin, maybe just walk away. Because the man is exceptional at these situations, incredibly talented. Engage in the bottom lane from Sword Art. Doesn't exactly find him much of anything. They were still level 1, so the follow-up isn't really there, but you can see here in mid, Angel with the early control over the wave. Caps losing out in a couple of trades there, pretty low HP.
Expected that Syndra should have the push here early on, so we'll see Caps if he can withstand that. But down on that bottom side, because the exhaust was forced this early, you know, G2 really has got to stay away from any sort of all-in fight, because now it's essentially 2 combat summoners to 0. You know, yes, you can kind of erase the flashes as those are even on both sides. But the exhaust is on cooldown, and you have teleport on perks. There's Heal and Ignite available for Hong Kong and Sword Art, so they really don't want to fight pretty much unless you already have them poked already basically to dead. But Wonder handling this very well up on that top side already, and Jankos has eyes on SOFM, so this is kind of what you have to do. He's going to have to give up the scuttle because Angel didn't move up, but there is a potential angle here for SOFM to double scuttle, and I think he's going to go for it as Angel is just moving down, keeping him pushed in. He's even going to use the Q to just taxi down towards that bottom scuttle even faster. Their bottom lane has the push. I already talked about how they don't want to fight, so we'll see if SOFM can grab this early double scuttle here and start off looking good, but he actually went back to base. Interesting.
Yeah, he chooses to back instead, goes ahead, grabs that Skirmisher Saber as well as a control ward, so has extra ability to escape trouble now by ward hopping over to that ward if he finds himself cornered. Also has the extra dueling potential of the Red Smite. Remember that Red Smite is like a miniature Exhaust and Ignite put together. Not as effective as either one, but still has a similar effect to both. So makes him much deadlier in that 1v1 situation against the Graves. And now you can see the on my way ping. He's saying, all right, now I'm coming to deal with the Scuttle Crab. Yep. He fires off the Vision playing at the Scryer's Boon there just to make sure that the Graves isn't hanging around in Pixel Brush or anything. And SOFM gets both crabs really well.
And it's so interesting because G2 so clearly expected that he would be doing it that they didn't even go check, right? They're just like, oh, that's gone. We saw him move, you know, from the top side through mid lane down into that bottom side brush. Of course, he's taking that scuttle, so they didn't even go and check. He actually prioritized that earlier skirmish shaver just in case he didn't run into anyone, you know, wanted to be ready to fight. You can see that Wonder is going very defensive here early on. Double cloth armor, I think it is so intelligent. At some point in the game, you can expect SOFM to be up here. It's physical damage on Lee Sin, physical damage on that Renekton. And building defensively and withstanding, I think, is going to be the key to the game, because you don't need to be the person to make things happen for your squad. You can just kind of chill and wait for Caps to be able to set up forward play, wait for Bard to be able to roam, and try to make things happen there. And Jankos is actually just walking down here. This is not a gank. This is to just get a free push in on the wave. And this will actually allow Perks to potentially just save his teleport if he does want to. He can TP back if he wants to keep up the pressure, but I think in this case, you just hold the teleport, you walk back to lane, and you have that TP available if you get pressured out later. So nice little bit of jungle pressure there from Jankos, and Caps even getting eyes on where SOFM is.
All right, SOFM deciding to counter jungle a little bit. Caps tosses him a couple of cards. SOFM wants to finish stealing this Wolf, but the Wolf may be his own death sentence. He flashes away, going back to the safety of his team. So trades away a big Wolf for a flash.
And not really worth it, but I don't think he expected Bard to be there that fast, right?
Probably
he's saying, all right, Caps is here. Who cares? I'll just ignore him. I'll kill this off. And it's not like Caps has any damage items. He bought a Null Magic Mantle, right? So he was able to grab that, and we'll see if he can secure this.
Jankos steps up to take the enemy chickens, but Jankos, you don't think that a flash is worth a wolf? How about a death for a chicken? First blood for Suning.
He didn't even get the whole chicken. He just got one piece, Flowers. This is the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals.
Well, it's a deal that he ended up striking for himself. Jankos gives over first blood, trying to go even there on the jungle camp, trading back and forth with SOFM. I can see the thought process. He's like, okay, we know that my opponent used both Flash and Smite stealing my Wolf camp. I should be able to steal that chicken camp away. But Angel's control over the mid lane just set things up, made it so he could rotate over, pick up that free kill. And now that means Suning has themselves a 600 gold lead. Things were pretty much dead even right before that, so that is really the only advantage here for this squad, but it's a nice early pickup 6 minutes in.
I mean, giving first blood over to this Syndra, who already is going to have kind of that early advantage in that 1v1 against the TF, so you know, that's not really very fun for Caps.
No.
You know, you're already being pushed in, and this extra injection of gold may keep that happening longer, but at the end of the day, It is not the end of the world here. You can see the early Bramble Vest now completed for Wonder. Got another early base out. Wonder has been handling this 1v1 beautifully, and SOFM has not actually made any trip up there. Things overall, I would say, looking pretty darn good for G2. They have not fallen prey to any of the pressure that could have potentially come out here from Lee Sin, except for a little bit of counter jungle.
Bottom side 2v2. Again, going to find some damage here onto Perks, who shoots the Mystic Shot off onto Sword Art at the back end of the fight. Makes that go a little bit even around here. Hawk Shot off there over SOFM's shoulder, but doesn't exactly see Jankos, who is working on this red buff. Nice smite secure there, dodging away from that Sonic Wave. SOFM will not be able to move in and secure that one. Both junglers are level 6. Remember, SOFM, no flash on the Lee Sin, so there's no opportunity to make a big play there with the kick. Jankos still has his own flash, didn't get a chance to use it before he died at that chicken camp. But now, Suning are after the Drake, should secure this one without really any contest here. They didn't even have a smite for that, but now G2 is coming in looking to stop him. Sword Art over the wall, trying to stay alive, uses the Blast Cone, gets himself away. Mickey X in hot pursuit, but Sword Art gets away underneath the tier 1 turret. The disengage from Suning keeps everybody alive.
A lot of summoners forced there by G2 with that TF ultimate being popped, but end of the day, SOFM able to grab the dragon and Suning gets away. You can see why SOFM is such a respected jungler. He is constantly looking to pressure, utilize the advantages that its lanes have created, attacking the wolves, attacking the raptors, taking the dragon, knowing that they were in that winning position. Did get a little bit dicey though, and we can watch this one more time. Looks like probably a scatter of the week, I assume. Yep. Did interrupt Cap's ultimate, so critical there from Angel to actually prevent Cap from coming over, and that was, his first ultimate of that game. A lot of people really do put a lot of emphasis on making that first play happen, because this is when you have no cooldown reduction, you're at rank 1 ultimate, it's the longest cooldown, so it feels very impactful sometimes to set the pace of the game. Caps also, is going for that more defensive itemization, building towards Aroa, likely some early Merc Treads to survive against this Syndra. So has no early CDR, and it does mean that you're going to pay a much heftier toll having that interrupt.
And I was praising Ben earlier on at the beginning of this game, and Wonder is just doing a great job dealing with him here in this top side. I say as he ends up just getting his butt kicked underneath the turret, eats 2 turret shots, but he does have a nice CS lead up here, about a couple waves worth, as the Scuttle Crab is spawning in topside river, and Suning has brought Sword Art to the party. Mickey X also here on the Bard. Dredgeline nearly finds him. Nice use of the Magical Journey to make sure Mickey X gets away. As Suning, yeah, they brought the bodies up here, Azael, but hey, the Crab's already been secured by Jankos.
Will be interesting. I think G2 actually have an angle to go for this, though, because remember, Perks saved his TP. So he can actually TP up here if they want to try to force, and we'll see if they do go for it. He is going to TP up. They know Huangfeng's on the bottom side, has no sums. He cannot answer this, and big sidestep.
Sword Art just barely sidestepping away. Dredgeline into the wall. Spider-Manning himself out of this one. As the follow comes through, they're looking to maybe make it a trade. Instead, it's going to be Sword Art going down. Yanko's still going to be kept alive. Nice outplayed there, but it's still going to be a 1-for-1 trade with the junglers after the fact. Support plus jungler, traded away for jungler, 2-for-1 at the end of the day, and G2 comes out on top.
They do, but the question is, how much are you going to lose on the bottom side? Because they're bleeding out farm now here, and we have to take that in consideration. But Angel now getting caught up. He's in trouble.
Now this could be pretty big. Angel goes for the return kill on Perks, but will not find it. Angel, what are you doing there, pal? G2 with the punish.
Yeah, G2 getting a couple of kills, but still, we'll see. Does the second plate go down to Huangfeng? Because all that farm lost on the bottom side. They lost about 2 waves there. They lost a plate. So they do go positive 2 kills, and the Rift Herald wasn't taken. So, you are up those kills, but it's trade for gold and experience that went directly into Huangfeng's pockets. So ends up being fairly even overall. I would say G2 come out slightly ahead, which is, worse than you would think, given the fact that they won all those fights.
G2 making sure they strike back here in this game. Also, notice the stacking items now online for both of the G2 carries. We got that Mana Moon stacking up for Perks, as well as the Rod of Ages already completed 11 minutes into the game for Caps. So right about 21 minutes, that will be at its maximum stack, maximum gold efficiency. He is 2 waves behind Angel there in the mid lane, but honestly, Angel's early successes are now offset by that mistake he had sticking around in the enemy jungle, getting caught out there. That loss sort of equalizes things a bit better here in the mid lane. And G2 now with their bottom laners up here in this top half of the map, they're going after the Rift Herald.
Yeah, I think this is actually pretty cool lane assignments, right? They sent Caps down towards the bottom lane, and they just left their dual lane mid to try to make sure that they had the extra members up here and they could get the eventual Rift Herald. But Suning is roaming up. We'll see if they're here in time. It looks like G2 should just be able to finish and walk away, so I don't think any fight is going to break out. But, really smart lane assignments here from G2, and that is going to net them the Rift Herald. And Mickey's actually the one to grab it, which is very rare, I would say. Do you see the support picking it up? But perhaps just feeling like he was the one least at risk of getting picked off there. Maybe nervous about Sword Art, catching someone with that ultimate. And Bard may have been able to keep safe.
Plus, you're a Bard, right? You're going to be one of the supports that roams around the map the most. Usually you see the Herald itself going onto the jungler because he's the one who can apply it to the lane where it's most desirable. But if you have a Bard that's going to be running around the entirety of the map anyway, like we've seen Mickey try to get involved in everything G2 is doing, he does have 3 out of 3 kill participation, so should be still pretty easy for G2 to find the application of that wherever they want it. Looking across the board, we're still waiting to see items come online for first completions across the board for Suning. You can see that the Blade of the Ruined King is in process of being completed there for Huanfeng. In the mid lane, you've got Angel still sitting on the Lost Chapter, waiting to complete that into Luden's Echo. And now SOFM and Sword Art are going to be starting up the second Drake of the game here for Suning. As the ulti comes out from Caps, it's going to see what they're doing. It sees what's going on, but Caps pops the ghost. He's getting the hell out of town.
Yep, he kind of had an inkling that maybe Suning was looking for a play on him. His team doesn't really have any vision on this side of the map. He hasn't seen a lot of the members, so smart defensive ultimate there from Caps. Gets the intel he needs, does back it up. They're dropping Rift Herald on the top side at the same time. That last plate probably not going to be able to be cracked because there is so much resistance on that, but the turret plates are about to fall in 10 seconds, so G2 should be able to grab that turret for themselves after the fact anyway. And going to be looking at that first turret of the game. Wonder building very likely towards the Black Cleaver plus Iceborne style of build. This is very popular in the LPL. It's an efficient, cheap 40% CDR style build, and does feel pretty nice when you complete it.
Yeah, plus you're allowed to stack the components if you don't want to just go for a straight completed item instead. Between Iceborne and Black Cleaver, there are 3 different, about 1,000 gold components that all give you 10% CDR, so stacking those up is very easy. And you can see right there, he had the Kindle Gem already completed, plus the Sheen to start off, and then now completing the Iceborne means he's at 30. So Volibear, very, very deadly when those skills can be going off so rapidly. Also has the ability to resist the damage of Renekton and Lee Sin together, as you pointed out earlier, by stacking the armor. And hey, if the only AP threat on the enemy team is a burst mage that does not want to be wasting her entire damage loadout on the Volibear, you're feeling pretty good about just prioritizing armor and then going for your bruiser items.
You definitely are, as long as you get some health, right? Because that's the one thing. With Bramblevest and Iceborne, that's a lot of gold for 0 health, right? You are going to get some from the Black Cleaver, but hopefully your next item after that would be at least some HP. It doesn't have to be MR, but like Deadman's even, get that Giant's Belt in there to just have enough flat health to survive that Syndra burst. And then I fully agree with you, because Syndra doesn't generally want to be expending the ultimate on the Volibear. It's going to make you too vulnerable in that rest of the fight. And we can see that, with this build also, it's a really cheap 2 items. So, when Ezreal completes 2 items, you're going to have 2 items very quickly after that. Potentially here on Wonder. And you're going to have a lot of members on G2 that are ready to go.
Whoa, that engage there from SOFM going deep underneath the enemy turret. Ends up having to use his own flash. Now he jumps in for some chickens. Gets the kick onto Jankos. Will not be able to stick around and take those chickens. These chicken camps are incredibly deadly this game, Azael, as SOFM does have to use that to disengage there. I can see maybe what he was thinking underneath the tier 1 turret. Yeah, we can go in, try to kick the AD carry back. That's Ezreal. He presses E, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That seemed a little bit too hypey from SOFM.
They got the tower, right? He's zoning them back. So that's the other thing you have to remember is that, yes, it did cost him his flash, but he got Mickey's flash out of it, and they killed the tower because Perks was running and the rest of G2 is trying to peel for Perks. So, SOFM definitely plays extremely aggressively. He plays without almost any fear. He shows mid lane, goes to that play, and then he's like, yep, I'm just going to engage and follow up right into the chickens, try to steal away some jungle camps in your face. He's constantly taxing your resources, forcing you to make correct decisions against him, or he will punish you. Because he is playing so bold, but really, he only has the 1 death. It's not as though he's running it down this game at all. You would expect someone playing like this to have died more against G2, who is such a good team at punishing you.
The difference between risk and calculated risk, and SOFM is making sure that even if these decisions might look a little crazy, they're not so crazy that they put him in the dirt. Also, look at his inventory. Knight's Vow. You mentioned this in Champion Select, how SOFM likes to go for defensive itemization on champions that generally build more offensively. He likes to build Knight's Vow on so many different champions. Now in the bottom lane, G2's coming in for the 3-man collapse onto Ben. They're bringing in the teleport to make it a 4-man. Ben is just walking away. Perk shoots off a Mystic shot. G2 committing a lot to this, but won't get much of anything. And now we'll see if Suning can find something elsewhere on the map. Mickey X walking through the jungle. That's a Bard. You're not really going to catch him out very easily. Sword Art leading the charge as Suning path through this enemy jungle here. Perks gets found out with the Sonic Wave. Once again, it's an Ezreal. You won't be able to make much of a play onto that. And now Huanfeng, with the rest of the team, feeling perfectly safe here on this Ashe, can step up and find some auto attacks in the tier 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think G2 were really committing to that because they wanted to be able to set up around that dragon early. If you got that kill onto Ben, you would be in a good position to do so, but that was flash off caps. You know, that was a lot of ultimates. That was a TP. We'll have to hold that.
They're looking for Angel here, but the flash away keeps him in a spot where he's not immediately under threat of death. Now, that was Bard ulti. That was Ezreal ulti. That was Twisted Fate ulti. A lot of tools there from G2 trying to make that pick. Of course, they do get flash out of Syndra, which can be very important in the follow-up fight. G2 also in a spot now where they have priority over the bottom side river. However, the crab was just secured by Suning. Remember, that's very important. That's vision that cannot be cleared away no matter what you do. As SOFM takes a couple of shots of poke over the wall, now retreating back here with the rest of this squad. Huanfeng also almost has the Enchanted Crystal Arrow up and ready to fire, but the Drake is up now, and G2 seem to just be forcing the issue. Ben is right there in the brush. Could be able to
Track
engage
his
on this
ultimate.
one.
It's almost up, and he has a perfect flank position. There to go.
Goes in. There comes your damage. So much going to be poured down onto the G2 lines, and Perks is already out of the fight. Wonder tries to jump back in. That's a 1-for-1 trade. Wonder for Sword Art. Now the Drake is the target. Suning going after this one. Mickey's over the wall. Caps and Yankos both still here. The Drake's going to reset a little bit. It's still at half HP. Suning still working on this one. Over the wall comes Yankos. He's in the pit. He's looking to maybe steal this one away. The Drake is going to be taken low. It's secured by Caps! You gotta be kidding me. The wild cards over the wall. What in the hell? They trade Yankos for it, but G2 will take the objective and stop Suning from hitting that soul point.
That potentially could have just saved G2's game. That wild card steal on the dragon there, because if you put Suning from this winning position at soul point this early in the game, we can see in our Axe replay here, they found the angle because G2 had to force. They didn't want to give up the easy soul point, but they were missing a lot of key cooldowns. And the perfect engage right over on the Caps. They layer the CC. They knock him down immediately. G2 got slaughtered in that fight, only taking down the enemy support. But it's all about the dragon because they were sticking around, and Suning did not actually clear G2 out over the wall. They did wait to stop Yankos to prevent any sort of 50-50, but the smite came down, and I didn't even see the health on that. It must have been incredibly low as the wildcards do snag it and prevent soul point, which allows G2 to play the map, allows them to forego going to a dragon that could be game losing when they are in a tough spot. They have more time to scale now, more time to play the map and try to trade a dragon for a tower with TF and things like this. That could be really, really critical in this game because Suning have been in full control, it feels like.
Ooh, Sword Art tried to engage there, but the dredge line only finds terrain, and now Sword Art's in a really bad spot. True Shot Barrage, nearly finding the kill. Sword Art walking away. Last Mystic Shot will not find him. SOFM looking to engage on the top side here as Angel's going to be caught out. Tries to go for the blast cone, gets taken down. Shut down credit over to Caps, and the enemy mid laner is dead. Enemy support 10% HP, enemy jungler at half. Baron is the call for G2.
Did you see that ward from Mickey? He warded out the blast cone, and Angel could not auto-attack the blast cone to get out of there. Mickey with a huge play. We'll see if SOFM can get in here. He's in trouble.
SOFM's going to get killed by Perks if he's not careful. He flashes over the wall. Sword Art's going to engage now. Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes through and Perks is dead. Mickey with the flashback over the wall. Bins in a 1v3, looking to maintain the aggro on the rest of the G2 squad. Volley's coming out. Focus fire going down. Huanfeng trying to keep G2 away from this objective. Suning jump in. They stop the G2 Baron attempt, and they take Perks in the process.
What a tense game. These two teams battling back and forth. Really, really close here. We can watch Mickey again as he comes out here looking for the pick. They see Angel over there. They pop the ultimate from TF, and they are going forward and catching Angel on the very edge. Sword Art, getting focused down. A great binding from Mickey over the wall, but now track Mickey. long range magical journey over the side. Pink ward on the blast cone. I don't think I've seen that in competitive
so
play.
good.
Warding the lantern has become standard. This is the next evolution. Mickey warding out the blast cone, getting the kill on Angel there. Unfortunately for them, they did lose perks and got pushed off the Baron, but still a fantastic play how quick he was with that magical journey and really on your feet thinking to be able to ward that out.
Most players, they go in the shop, Isaac, and they see a control ward and they're like, oh yes, I'll pay 75 gold for vision. Mickey X walks into the shop and says, yes, I'll pay 75 gold to kill Syndra. Outright.
75 for 300, that's a good deal.
That's a great deal. Fantastic deal. I'd take that deal any day of the week, and so would Mickey X. Easy kill into Angel means there's nothing left of him in that situation. 3-2-1 here on the Syndra. Still a good KDA overall. Suning still up a little bit over 1,000 gold. Next Drake spawning here in 90 seconds. Now, this one is still very important. Remember, we're working towards an Ocean Soul this game. This is one of those souls that can really, really change the course of a game. And for Suning, you know they don't want to be losing this one again to another wild card, wild steal. This would be the opportunity for Soul for them if those wild cards didn't steal the last one. We talked about how fortuitous that was for G2. They're happy with that situation, but now can they contest around this one? 60 seconds until that Drake shows up. You can see that the Scuttle Crab will be spawning around the same time down there as well. There's control wards on the side of Suning hanging around in this mid lane and the bottom side of that river. Caps is top side, but he has the TP to get to the bottom half of the map if he needs to be there in an instant.
And he actually just popped his ultimate. So this is what I was talking about. I think that, you know, they are willing to make these sort of trade plays. G2 is such a strong macro team, really good at playing side lanes. Caps gets out here, actually pops the TF ultimate to track vision, and then has a timed out, so he's actually going to TP back. So pretty expensive wave push, I will say. But now that they know Syndra's up on the top side, they're going to try to move in here and get vision themselves. Angel does have TP to be down, but they have to keep contesting, because if you give over Ocean Soul, Suning has a lot of beefy boys over on this other team. They got some tanks. I mean, this is a full tank Lee Sin. He's going Spirit Visage third. Renekton has a lot of HP, and Nautilus is pretty tanky too. And if you can't burst them down, it's guaranteed incredible amounts of value from Ocean Soul. So they must contest.
Sword Art tries to engage, and once again, the Dredge line only finding the terrain. Nice counterattack coming through from G2. Sword Art's nearly killed. He tries to walk himself away, but a nice Bard ulti finds its way on a Huan Feng and the enemy mid laner. With Angel in some trouble, it's now Sword Art going to be taken out. Ben looking to find the damage into the back line. Mickey's going to be taken low, and Suning with a beautiful counterattack. Arrows through the hearts of every single samurai in the fight. G2 tries to fall back. The teleports are coming in, and now can Caps get away? I don't think so. Play your last pathetic card. Double kill for Huan Feng. 4 dead for G2. Soul point for Suning.
SOFM. Learn this man's name, because you are going to be seeing a lot of him. What a kick onto perks. Sword Art was able to survive so long, and with all the resources being spent to try to take down that support, Suning find the angle to turn around the fight, to get in there. This is a full tank Lee Sin up 2 levels on a Graves, who is normally the one doing that to the Lee Sin. He is farming at such an insane pace, almost 180 CS.
And there's no team out on him or anything either.
This is just insane. So let's watch this one more time. All of these resources being put into this really, really tanky Stone Plate Nautilus. He survives for so long. Then watch SOFM here, finding the angle, gets onto Mickey. As Mickey backs up, he gets too close to perks, and SOFM sees his chance, kicking him right through the Graves. Q onto Graves, finishes him off. Safeguard back to Huan Feng, who's pushing forward there. Really good play from SOFM, and Mickey just not tracking the fact that he had that Q on him and was bringing it back into his team. Gets punished so heavily for it.
Oh, we're talking about punish. SOFM nearly getting caught there. Has to flash away as the gold card is in the air to make sure he does not die. The Suning jungler, now without the flash, down to 1/3 HP, needs to go back, shop up, heal up. Almost has that Spirit Visage done too. There you go, seeing that one get completed means he won't take nearly as much damage from the Twisted Fate or the Bard. Also gets extra heals, very nice stuff. Suning still with about a 2,500 gold lead. One more Ocean Drake, Isaac, and they get the soul. Very, very big point of contention here. 3.5 minutes from now, G2 enters into the world. And we talk about this a lot over the course of different games, but it's always worth bringing up. Risk versus reward. When one team is at 3 dragons and the other team is not, you constantly have to fight, because the risk is they get one of the biggest rewards in League of Legends. But what is your reward? 4% bonus healing. Doesn't feel great.
Yep. And if you don't have the setup, it's so tough, right? Because Caps wants to be playing the side lane. He wants to be splitting the map, but they have not really gotten anything going in these side lanes. G2 has not been able to create any meaningful pressure, towards these tier 2 towers to be able to start making Suning send multiple members to answer. It's always Suning pushing forward, and I think a large part of it is because of SOFM, who's farming like a beast, who's insanely tanky on this Lee Sin, and as a result, he has so much confidence to go forward and make types of plays and types of moves that you wouldn't be able to see Lee Sin's with a more standard build get away with. If this is a lethality Lee Sin or something, forget about it. He can't go for these types of plays, but he knows how much tankier he is than that standard Lee Sin. He can fly into a fight, draw pressure onto himself, create space for Angel and Huangfeng and Bin to get into the back lines and to find angles to really catch out Perks, and Suning have been able to do a great job at picking him off.
And I honestly really like that. I really think it's such a good way to approach the situation, because when you think about competitive play in particular and what Lee Sin gets noticed for, how Lee Sin wins the game, it's what we just saw in that last team fight. It's finding the kick, it's finding the moment, it's being able to be there for that one big play. It's not the, oh my god, did you see him build 3 lethality items and then one-shot Ashe for the 14th time? Look at his gold KDA on OP.GG. That never happens in competitive play. That is a
Sometimes.
meme. Lethality Lee Sin can succeed in some situations, but so often in competitive play, it's all about enabling yourself for that one huge moment, that one play that can turn the fight like we just saw, and SOFM is dialed in and ready to go. Next Drake in just over 1 minute. Suning gets Ocean Soul if they achieve it. However, G2 is keeping this game close in gold. 2,500 separates them between their opponents. They've still got Caps with a 3-1-2 scoreline. Almost has the Rabadon's death cap completed. I'm not sure how close he is to that recipe to go ahead and finalize it. He's going back to base now. Might be the completion. Show me a hat. There we go. All right, 2 sticks makes a hat. That's League of Legends math. Caps is back onto the map with the TP, and G2 will look to contest setup here for the Drake.
And Perks has 3 items as well, right? He's on the death stand, so he is at a very strong point. It's just going to get worse for him, kind of comparing the straight-up DPS usually of the Ashe to that Ezreal from here on out. So they are at a pretty good point of the game. The other thing you have to remember is since G2 has no option but to try to contest for this, there's also the option for Suning to say, all right, well, we're going to try to trade for Baron, or we're just going to forgo it and take your towers. They have more of these options, and that's why it's so important for G2 to have the setup to get control of mid lane, and that's why they're fighting heavily for this. We'll see if they can secure this dragon for themselves here. It's up in 10 seconds. Bin is already in a flank spot, has not yet been spotted here, and look at us.
This is a big moment here in this game. Cap fires off the ulti, but it's going to be a catch down on the Perks, looking for some of the damage onto him, nearly able to finish him off. Now they're going to find the kill as Yank goes down, as Bins dive into the back line. Once again, going to be disrupting multiple people on the side of G2. Dredgeline not finding the mark. Suning's able to find the kill, but they're all down, low HP. Huanfeng nearly dead, flashing out, keeping himself alive. G2 disengaging, still looking to escape the periphery of this fight. The Scuttle Crab is up, the Scuttle Crab is down. Securing that one is guaranteed vision over the Drake pit. G2, they're still in good enough condition to fight. They're going forward, they're able to find the kill. Now down onto Sword Art. Mickey X is going to be taken low. SOFM looking to jump into the fight. Ben's going to be trading the kill there, 1 for 1. But now it's Huanfeng in trouble. Perks going after him. The Ashe is down, and G2 responds. But here comes Angel. Can he send Perks to the afterlife? Yes, he will. There you go. See you later. Wonder's having to run out of this one, and just when things look doomed for G2, Angel comes back and facilitates the end of the fight that will provide them the Ocean Soul. Caps did it once. Can Caps do it again with the wild cards over the wall? He throws them through. They will not find the mark. The dragon is slain. The Ocean Soul for Suning. Wonder has come back in. He uses the TP to try to interfere on the very back end of things, but it won't find him anything at all.
What a close back and forth fight. G2 lost the first member, but they had so much poke damage in this replay. This is the re-engage here. They go in, Bin decides to commit forward. Huanfeng is a little bit behind the play. He was actually life-stealing up in mid lane, I do believe. By the time he gets here, it's a nice sidestep on the Q from Perks, but it doesn't matter. They've stacked on top of him. They take him down, but Angel has based the sidestep, keeping home guards up, flashing in, closes the distance on the Perks. That ain't the Angel of Mercy. Taking down the G2 marksman, getting the Ocean Soul, And now you have these multiple Spirit Visage frontliners, you know, getting so much healing from the Ocean Soul, and you have to wonder, can G2 fight themselves out of this hole? Because the gold is very close, but it's going to be so hard to punch through all of that extra healing. And I love that Perkz immediately goes back to base, buys the Executioners. That is a must-have in this spot.
Very important to make sure you're making that adaptation when your opponents get the Ocean Soul. Yeah, there's a Bramble Vest on Wonder, but remember that Bramble Vest also depends on him being auto-attacked to apply the Grievous Wounds, so it's not really going to do anything against Angel or against Sword Art if he's just applying CC. Now Suning's pushing down the mid lane. G2 actually decreased the gold gap in this game with the last fight, but Suning's still pushing up. TP coming through. Sword Art with the engage onto Mickey X. The damage comes out. Angel's going for the kill, but he won't be able to find it. Now engage from Wonder onto the back line. Huanfeng trying to disengage. SOFM barely going to be kept alive. Sword Art also walks away, but bends into the back line, engaging 1v5 all alone, slashing and dashing and crashing. Angel finds the kill into Wonder. Where's the Sonic Wave? Resonating Strike not going to be coming through just yet. SOFM not able to find the kill. 1-for-1 overall, making it 2-for-1. It's another kill for Perkz. He gets Sword Art, he gets SOFM together, and that means Suning is running the hell away.
And this could be Baron for G2 potentially. We'll see if they want to try to force it. The carries are still alive for Suning, but it is a jungle advantage for G2. This is a team with the killer instinct, and I think they have got to go for something. You don't want to play slow against this Ocean Soul team, but we'll see if they can make it happen. Perkz is running out mid lane right now. He is going to get the push, so G2 will not start it up. They are just looking to lay a trap and are now going over towards that Baron pit. And they're going to try to look for a pick here. They're hoping they can find someone from Suning trying to check.
Well, hey, there's Ben, who dashes himself back away. He's not going to die to this anytime soon. I like the fact that G2 went for it. That is something that if they got somebody that wasn't the Renekton, that didn't have a dash immediately away, that could have been a kill. But unfortunately for them, does not work out. Now G2 with control over the mid lane, trying to push this up. They have 2 turrets compared to 4. They'd love to take down this mid lane tier 1, get that off the board, use that to shore up the gold a little bit more. 1,500 gold separating the teams here. Baron is up. Elder is up in 3 minutes. And with that being the state of the game, I do want to address a change to the ebb and flow of the neutral game fight that Elder brings in. You're no longer in a low-risk, low-reward situation if you're G2. Yes, you have to deal with Ocean Soul, but now winning the Drake fight actually gives you this super powerful reward as well. If G2 can win a team fight around the Elder Drake and take the buff, all of a sudden, this game can swing just right back in the other direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's no longer Ocean Soul versus 4% regen. It's Dragon Lasers versus Dragon Lasers, and they're up for grabs.
Fair fight. G2 now having to deal with the fact that Suning is starting up the Baron, and Suning want to be able to secure this one. Nice follow-up coming in from the Ashe ulti. Mickey X loses about half HP. Suning still on the Baron. The Baron is dropping incredibly slowly. There's no way they can stick on this one the entire time. G2 has arrived. Wonder's ready to jump into the middle of everyone if need be, and Suning will walk away.
And you see, Angel wasn't willing to actually commit the ultimate to try to kill off Mickey there. You know, wanted to just try to poke him out and save it for any sort of committed fight if it broke out afterwards. At this point in the game, it's going to be long respawn timers if they go for it, and SOFM is just moving aggressively forward here. Knows he can't really be taken down, and look at that regen when he gets his damage out with the Ocean Soul, just kind of flying right back up.
This Lee Sin, this is a Chad Lee Sin if I ever seen one in my life. Land the Q, take the Q. And it's not even my mind's telling me, you know, but my body's telling me yes type of thing. He doesn't even die for it.
Both are telling him yes.
It's 3, 2, and 10. Mind and body are in sync. The man is just ready to go on this Lee, and I love watching it. Game's still dead even in terms of gold between these squads. 1,000 gold doesn't really mean anything. 35 minutes into the game, it's the difference in wards at this point in time. Look at the itemization on Huanfeng. Has that QSS, 2 crit items completed, third one in the process. Over on the other side, you've got QSS also up on Perkz, who has been caught out a few times this game, 5, 4, and 5 on the KDA, so wants to make sure he's able to get away if he gets hit by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow or by a stun from Angel. Because honestly, if he sticks around for any amount of follow-up, he's just dead.
Yep, but he hasn't had to fight yet with this QSS, so it is going to be harder to take him down. The one you might be worried about on the side of G2 is actually Caps now, because he still has no Zonias and he has no stopwatch. He's very squishy, but he's high damage. He has the rapid fire in to try to get those picks with the gold card, and he's also sitting on no flash. So, you know, if he's in a bad spot, he could be in trouble. He's going to have to rely on some really good positioning. It's a higher risk, higher reward build, and that's the kind of playstyle we have come to expect from Caps.
Bin gets spotted by the sweeper of Mickey X, so G2 is aware of where the Suning top laner is hanging out. Blast Cone is up. could be used to go over the wall here for the Elder Drake fight. Remember, G2, man, this is a fearless kind of squad. Even if Suning has control over the pit, you know Jankos will be getting in there, going for the 50-50 on that steal. As the red buff is secured, SOFM has that one. Enchanted Crystal Arrow flies out. Perk's going to use the QSS, getting himself away. Caps will not be hit by the dredge line, but SOFM is going in. SOFM is exhausted. Bard ulti finds its way onto Sword Art, and Sword Art alone. SOFM still looking to find some more onto Caps. SOFM is alone. SOFM nearly going to be taken out. Has to get back to the safety of the team. Bin and the ulti now having to run away as well. Suning, they tried to go for it. They tried to look for some capture potential onto that pick on Caps. Flash coming in from Bin. Follow-up dredge line won't find the mark. Suning may have overestimated their engaged potential, and now they're going to be eating some damage on the back end of the fight. The True Shot Barrage comes through.
The Mikhails there was so big from Mickey. They knew there was no cleanse on Caps, so Bin went for it. But Mickey was there with the Mikhails, saving his mid laner again. G2 playing it so well.
For the kill, and they found it. Angel has been destroyed, and Suning is in a 4v5. G2's looking for more now. They're finding the gold card. It's on to SOFM. Sword Art's going in, looking to buy some time, looking to protect his valuable members of his team. Lee Sin has to disengage. Huanfeng running away now too. Suning losing their mid laner. Proper team play, protecting each other, kiting out the CC, disengaging when Suning tries to deal with them. Now they have to fight through this Elder Drake fight. They have it aggroed. They're the ones tanking it. Suning still sticking around. They don't want to give this away for free, but they make the call to go in and fight 4v5. It looks like they do. Yes, they will. Mickey's in some trouble. Enchanted Crystal Arrow flies out. Suning going in for the fight. Wonder in the middle of 4 people. True Shot Barrage coming through, finds the kill into Huanfeng. Sword Art's taking all the damage now. Mystic Shot over the wall. Perks with the follow-up, able to find the kill. SOFM still alive, but he's down to 1/3 HP. He goes in. He's looking to steal the drink, but he will not be able to do it. Here's a losing hand, buddy. Jankos ends up grabbing the kill, facilitated by Caps, and G2 will take the Elder Drake.
What a fight, Flowers! That was incredible! G2 and Suning going blow for blow there. The kiting, the team play from G2 to survive the early seconds of that fight was incredible. Everyone coming together to peel for Caps. He had the cleanse, the exhaust, the Mikhails coming through to save him, and this is the later re-engage. They've already killed off Angel. They wanted to try to finish this dragon before Angel respawned, so he couldn't just come straight back to the fight. But Huanfeng moving down here as they go for the re-engage overextends a little bit, and G2 were able to capitalize on it so heavily. SOFM going in, Huanfeng moving forward, but Ingo's Wonder stuns him up. He has the flash, but he could not get out of there. The ultimate from Perks coming straight over across Huanfeng, bursting him down. As soon as the Ash fell, there was no chance for Suning in this fight. Ocean Soul be damned. G2 came to play.
And now Suning are the ones having to respect G2. G2 up 5,000 gold. Damage dealt in the last fight. 10,000. Is that thing broke? 10,000 damage.
Wait, is that the whole game or is that the last fight? Because that is insane.
That's the last fight because it says 312 for Angel. Ain't no way he did 312 damage in the whole
yes.
game.
That is insane.
Holy moly, man. Now G2 with the Baron, with the Elder. This Red Bull Baron buff could be the end of the game right here. Suning must defend against a double Uber buff G2. Can they end the game right now? True Shot Barrage finds Angel, takes about 1/3 of the health. First Nexus turret is gone. Ben is in the mid lane. Ben, you need to get back to the Nexus.
Little crocodile.
You got to get back over there, man. You got to help your boys. Suning are truly in a spot that could end this game for them right now. But the Elder Drake is such an X factor here.
They're trying to wait it out.
30 more seconds. They've got to survive another half minute. They need to clear this wave away. G2 want to stop them. Enchanted Crystal Arrow fired off, looking for some damage onto Jankos. Ben goes into the ultimate, keeping himself alive. G2's on the push. G2's looking to make the play. Wonder into the dive, looking to disable the turret, keeping things going. Wonder's going to be killed off. Huanfeng taking that one. Beautiful scatter the weekend. Send them running. SOFM goes in. He tries to dodge away. A little bit more damage would trigger the Elder Dragon, but they won't be able to find it. The dredge line now
Caps
down
to
to
the
the X, looking to find the kill. Caps into the back line, trying to find the wild cards, trying to find the damage. Caps is going to be barely escaping. The damage down onto the remaining players. Perks is out. Caps is throwing the cards around, looking to finish off the Nexus turret. He won't be able to do it. And it's an ace for Suning.
Oh my God, this This game is incredible, Flowers. Absolutely delivering the debut of both these teams at Worlds 2020, and we are in for a treat. They are on the push here. Can they actually end? They don't have the minion wave, so I don't think they can. Jankos could be up, but Caps' res timer is so long. Maybe they just try to straight up go for it because the full march is on. Jankos and Wonder will be back.
God.
Mickey will be back, but the question is, will they be able to hold without Caps and Perks? And is Suning even willing to go for it? Because they have lost these last couple fights. Maybe they want to go for it.
Give me 5 games of this pumped directly into my veins. This is Worlds. This is League of Legends. This is Suning looking to end the game. Nexus turret's being kept alive now by the Bard ulti. Perks and Caps going to be coming up here in just a moment. Suning going for the game-ending push, going for the team fight, looking to find the damage. Wonder's going into the ulti now, looking to mount the defense. Bin runs away. Huanfeng's going to be taken low. Wonder's the first one to die, and Jankos is nearly going to be killed off now. Where's the focus going to be? Players or Nexus? It is 1-for-1. They're trying to kite themselves back. Huanfeng stays alive, using the QSS, keeping himself in a good spot. Caps coming in with the ulti. Gold card goes out. Huanfeng goes down. Sword Art
Caps get TP.
Caps is going in. He uses the ulti, getting himself in a good spot now as the TP comes through from G2. They're into the top lane of the base. It's Perks, baby! Knock, knock! Open the hell up! The Nexus is the target. Suning's advance is resisted. G2 has persisted, and Perks insisted on a win in this game.
This is League of Legends, baby! What a game between G2 and Suning! That was incredible!
That's Worlds. That's why we're here. Anybody ever asks you, what are you doing watching video games at 4 o'clock in the morning? Turn this on. Holy moly.
Oh man, I sure hope you didn't miss this game. This was, I'm gonna say, this is the best game I ever cast. That was so exciting. From G2 and Suning, both teams played some incredible League of Legends here today. Suning really playing out an amazing first 25-30 minutes, getting the Ocean Soul. SOFM playing his signature style, his signature pick. You felt like G2 were painted into a corner. You felt like G2 were going to lose from there. But the coordination, the skirmishing, the ability they had to kite it out in these fights around the Dragons is unmatched. That was just a thing of beauty here from the #1 team from Europe.
Look at the excitement on Caps' face, man. What did I say?